So I want you to be you, and I want you to treat the Danettes as if they are writers. And explain the system, though, the scoring system that you have.
Sure. Vibes would be one way to describe it. You know, everybody wants to reach vibes. Now, I'm looking for panelists not just to have an opinion. I'm looking for them to prove why their opinion is best right now. Prove it right now. You got to prove why your opinion's best. So you may think, Paul, I got to get some stats because Reali is a stat boy, born and raised, and that would be a great way to do it. But then if Fritzy were to come back and give stats on top of stats, well, stats on stats, we're not doing that. Mute Fritzy. All right, and then Marvin's coming in and he's saying, as the only panelist who watched this game, or as the only panelist who was in the locker room, is what I was there. Frank Isola, I was there. That's another way to get points. So now we're proving it could be analytical, it could be experiential, it could be, any number of things.
What's a bad way to try to get points?
That's a good question. I have banned certain phrases from the show because people of our ilk, never you, Dan, but I would say more the Danettes, have used them in a way that have rendered them meaningless. These are cliches. You want me to tell you now?
Yes.
Can I give you a little? Well, I'm going to give you partially of the list. Elite. Narrative. Optics. If we even approach any of those three words, and then there's even one more that comes up quite often. It's when you use one sport and you bring in another sport to use your analogy because you couldn't talk about this sport.
Well, that's called first take.
Oh, goodness. They're going to get me canceled before the week's over. Well, yeah, I mean, I believe this to be the case. If we're talking hockey, we're talking hockey. Don't you dare bring in, Steph Curry or whatever to make your comp. So that's another part of that. So those are the banned phrases. That's how you lose points. That's how you lose before. We have this filter that I would stamp on there, and there would be a siren. And then the panelists would stop talking in the middle of it because they thought, they were getting pulled over in their studio or something. I don't know. So then I had to be more, All right.
Okay, so you give them the topic, and then you'll judge them.
Yeah.
You'll give them points. Okay.
I heard it coming in. I think Brock Purdy was an interesting development in the NFL. Because we all know how we rank our top 5 and top 10 and top 15 quarterbacks. And we know about the success of the 49ers over the last 5 years, in part because of the structure of his salary as a rookie. So let's go around the horn on Brock Purdy's new deal at over $50 million per for Purdy. Around the horn, Paul.
The 49ers had no choice but to sign him. He bailed them out of the Trey Lance situation. They haven't paid him yet. And he's good, not great, but not bad enough to move on from.
That's a terrible way to make an argument, Paul.
Good, not great?
Just leave it at good. He's good. All right. Fritzy, do I see you back there? Around the horn, Fritzy. Buy or sell?
When did the San Francisco 49ers become the San Francisco Desperados? Are they like a UFL team now? How desperate can you be to spend that kind of money? They didn't win a Super Bowl.
Mute. How desperate are we that we're trying to get that USFL audience? Man, if you love sports in 1983, you're going to love this take from Fritzy.
Yeah, welcome to my show, Tony.
All right, Seton, what do we got?
I love what the 49ers did here. They gave their quarterback a fair, competitive salary that's not going to reset the market, so he doesn't have the pressure of explaining this gigantic salary right now. Plus, they got it done before preseason. They got it done before any of those questions are going to be asked about the extension. So when are you signing? Are you going to sign? Are you happy with the money? The guarantees are good but manageable. The money is front-loaded up top. These are all winners for this team.
Ding. Marvin, around the horn of you.
Love the Brock Purdy contract. First of all, he saved John Lynch's job as general manager for all those trade picks to go up for Trey Lance. And then you know what?
Dink. Maybe.
Marvin, keep going.
Oh, okay.
No,
sorry.
Yeah, he can give you that facial.
We got the commercial break.
PTI's
on in 5
really
minutes.
good. Hey.
Yeah, sorry.
Love it for the 49ers. They got their franchise quarterback. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay, you don't just score with the dinks and the doinks and the mute. You score with your face. I'm a face scorer, right? The listening face, Dan. You know the listening face.
Oh, of course.
And then what do we got here? Okay, so Well, there were some passionate arguments there, though Marvin kind of rolled off there at the end.
Marvin, you froze.
It's all right. It happens
I
when
did
the
the
lights
noises.
on. Yeah, the noises sometimes.
Noises threw
get
me
you.
off. Sorry.
Today's champion and winner, Seton,
Nice.
FaceTime.
Hey.
Seton will get 30 seconds of FaceTime, Seton. Now let's see if you have a second gear. You can talk about anything you want in FaceTime, Seton.
Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup was
Wow, he had
huge
something.
for the American soccer audience. Chris Richards is a starter in that back line. He is also an owner of a USL Championship team in Birmingham Legion. That's exactly the kind of momentum that you need heading into the World Cup in the United States next year. Vamos, boys, let's go!
This is incredible.
Wow, on the fly.
If I had a piece of paper right now, I don't want to take
Would
one
you-
of your
would-
scripts.
would
Yeah,
you-
let me see what I got.
Here you go. There you go. You can throw it right at Weeks, my
All
cameraman.
right, here we go, Weeksy. Let's see. Ready? We're on a 23, but soon to be infinity and a half-hour break. We'll see you tomorrow, maybe around the horn. Oh.